For most of their lives, many men were taught one simple lesson. A good man sacrifices. He puts everyone else first. He works harder, gives more, provides more, asks for less. And for decades, many men did exactly that. But something changes after 60. More and more single senior men are saying something they never thought they would say. I will never sacrifice my peace again. This isn't because they hate women. It isn't because they've become selfish. It's because life has taught them one incredibly powerful psychological lesson. A healthy relationship should never require one person to lose themselves. In the realm of psychology, the masculine journey is often defined by utility. Society measures a man by what he can endure and what he can provide. But in this modern era, a silent revolution has taken place. Senior men have performed a brutal objective audit of their lives. They have measured the cost of endless sacrifice, and they have permanently closed their accounts. Today, we are going to explore the psychology of the sovereign man. We will dissect the 7 real reasons why single senior men absolutely refuse to make endless sacrifices anymore, and why establishing this boundary is the ultimate pinnacle of masculine maturity. Let us uncover the truth. Point number 1, they have already spent a lifetime sacrificing. To understand the older man's current boundaries, we must look at the brutal reality of his past. Most senior men have already lived through decades of unrelenting responsibility. They worked grueling, long hours. They raised children. They supported families. They solved complex problems. They paid the bills, and they consistently put their own dreams on hold. In psychology, this is known as the martyr complex, instilled by traditional societal expectations. Many of these men sacrifice silently, without ever expecting applause or gratitude. And looking back, they do not regret helping the people they loved, but they do regret forgetting themselves in the process. Now, at the age of 60 or beyond, they understand a harsh physiological and emotional truth. Sacrifice without balance eventually becomes total exhaustion. Their energetic reservoir, which they freely drained for others for 40 years, is now fiercely protected. When a woman approaches a senior man, expecting him to immediately assume the role of the sacrificial provider, she is fundamentally misunderstanding his life stage. He has already completed his shift. He has paid his dues to society in full. He absolutely refuses to pick up the heavy boulder of sacrifice for a new relationship, because he knows the crushing cost of carrying it. Point number 2, they learn that love should never cost their identity. One of the most insidious dangers of long-term relationships is the slow, almost imperceptible erosion of the self. Many older men look back and realize they slowly, quietly changed who they were, simply to keep their relationships alive. They ignored their passions and hobbies. They stopped seeing their lifelong friends. They stayed silent to avoid conflict. They accepted situations, behaviors, and social circles that didn't reflect their core values. They operated under the illusion that compromise was the same thing as love, but over time, they noticed something incredibly painful. The more they abandoned themselves to keep the peace, the less fulfilled they became. They became strangers in their own lives. Today, they hold a non-negotiable standard. A healthy relationship should allow both people to remain completely true to themselves. If a senior man meets a woman who attempts to alter his routines, critique his hobbies, or demand that he change his fundamental personality to suit her preferences, he will instantly walk away. He has learned that any relationship that requires the sacrifice of his identity is not a partnership. It is an emotional hostage situation. He will never shrink himself to fit into someone else's box again. Point number 3, peace became infinitely more valuable than approval. When men are younger, they operate under the biological and psychological drive to seek acceptance. They want to be seen as successful, desirable, and accommodating. They will argue for hours just to prove they are right. They will endure toxic dynamics just to avoid the stigma of a failed relationship. But as they grow older, their hierarchy of needs undergoes a complete inversion. Peace becomes more valuable than praise. A quiet home becomes more valuable than constant arguments. A calm mind becomes more valuable than proving a point. This psychological shift changes everything about how an older man approaches women. Many senior men no longer ask the anxious question of their youth, "Will this person like me?" Instead, they observe the woman sitting across from them and ask a highly calculated, protective question. "Will this relationship protect or disturb my peace?" If she brings drama, entitlement, or constant negativity, the older man is immune to her physical attractiveness. He will not sacrifice the tranquility of his nervous system for the sake of romantic approval. He chooses his quiet home over her chaotic storm every single time. Point number 4. They no longer believe that sacrifice alone creates love. Experience is a brutal empirical teacher. Many older men look back at their failed marriages and realize a terrifying truth. They gave absolutely everything they had. They gave their time, their physical energy, their infinite patience, their unwavering financial support. Yet, despite sacrificing every ounce of their being, some relationships still failed. They were still betrayed. They were still divorced. They were still met with a profound lack of gratitude. Eventually, they realized something incredibly important. Sacrifice alone cannot build a healthy relationship. You cannot love someone enough to make them respect you. You cannot provide enough money to cure someone's internal unhappiness. Mutual respect, honest communication, shared responsibility, emotional maturity. These are the pillars that make relationships last. Without them, endless sacrifice only creates a breeding ground for deep resentment. The senior man refuses to play the role of the selfless martyr anymore because he has empirical proof that sacrificing his own well-being does not guarantee loyalty. It only guarantees exhaustion. Point number 5. They have learned the profound difference between giving and losing yourself. Generosity is a core masculine strength. It is noble to be kind, to provide, and to protect. But constantly giving while entirely ignoring your own needs is not a virtue. It is a form of self-destruction. Many senior men now understand that healthy generosity must have ironclad limits. Supporting someone through a difficult time is meaningful. Losing your identity to manage their emotions is not. Helping someone grow is admirable. Carrying every single one of their financial and emotional burdens alone is not. Older men finally recognize that establishing boundaries is not a selfish act. Boundaries are necessary. They are the psychological walls that keep the fortress of your sanity intact. If a woman interprets his boundaries as selfishness, she is simply revealing her predatory nature. She is upset that she can no longer extract resources without resistance. The sovereign man understands that he can be a loving, generous partner without ever setting himself on fire just to keep a woman warm. Point number 6. They refuse to trade their freedom for constant stress. After retirement, many men undergo a renaissance. They strip away the chaos of the corporate world and build a peaceful, curated routine. They travel to places they always wanted to see. They read thick books by the fire. They exercise. They enjoy incredibly quiet, unhurried mornings. They have achieved the ultimate goal of human existence, absolute autonomy. When they consider entering a new relationship, they look at their beautiful, peaceful life, and they ask one critical, non-negotiable question. Will this woman add peace to my life, or will she replace my freedom with constant stress? If a woman requires him to sacrifice his routine, demands to control his finances, or brings unpredictable emotional volatility into his space, the answer is clear. Many senior men choose to remain single, not because they reject love and not because they are bitter, but because they value stability more than they value a romantic title. They realize that giving up their total freedom to become an emotional babysitter for a chaotic partner is the worst trade in the history of human negotiation. Point number 7. They want partnership, not dependency. Let it be known, many older men still deeply believe in love. They have not closed their hearts, but their definition of what love looks like has undergone a profound evolution. They are no longer looking for someone to rescue them from loneliness. And conversely, they absolutely refuse to rescue someone else from the consequences of their own life choices. They seek true partnership. Two emotionally mature people. Two independent lives, financially secure and psychologically whole. One shared journey. For many senior men in the modern era, that is the only kind of relationship worth pursuing. They have stopped sacrificing themselves on the altar of toxic romance. They have reclaimed their sovereignty. They have found their peace, and they will never, ever give it away again. If this video resonated with your soul, I want to hear your truth. Head down to the comments and tell me, what was the exact moment you realized you would never sacrifice your peace for a relationship again? Your scars and your wisdom will help guide the younger men who are still fighting blindly through the storm. If you found value in this deep dive into male psychology, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Sage Academy channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Thank you for watching. Until next time, guard your sanctuary and embrace your freedom.